Namaste everyone, I am Axat and today I want to talk about why Resident Alien is such a good adaptation of a comic book. Now, specifically, not just about adaptations of comic books into series, because in that we can count Hitmonkey as well, which was a great Marvel animated show using the voice of Jason Sudeikis, who is also Ted Lasso and plays a football manager in the Premier League. On which note I will say, glory, glory, Man United. New season coming up. Fingers crossed it's going to be, it's obviously going to be better than last season, but hopefully we will manage to make a title charge and get a couple of, or maybe at least one title this year. Even though Eric Ten Hag did manage to win us a couple of knockout round titles, knockout competition titles, the FA Cup and the AFL Cup. But what am I saying? Let's get back to Resident Evil. So Resident Alien, I said Resident Evil, didn't I? Resident Evil obviously has built a huge franchise on its premise of zombies. But Resident Alien is great because of the script, right? So the comic book in itself took more of a detective route for the alien, living among humans. He gets caught up in human lives and starts to solve some mysteries and stuff like that. But in this show, it's all about aliens threatening Earth. So at first, the titular resident alien himself has come to delete humans basically from Earth because we are damaging the planet, and that's not something that advanced civilizations want. But he fails at that in the first scene itself, and then slowly starts to develop his humanity, and now he's fighting against grey aliens who really want to, I guess, destroy the Earth. So it's a very, shall I say, convenient story, because obviously for the plot to progress, lots of things have to fall into place that are unbelievable. But then again, aliens living amongst us is also unbelievable. So that suspension of disbelief is there. But let's come back to why I love it. It's the script. So I'll give you an example. There is a dialogue in which the resident alien, who is playing the role of a town doctor, is giving therapy to the mayor of the town. And he tells the mayor that I'm going to put you under hypnosis, you're going to sleep, but you will pay me for the whole hour. So these are the kind of tongue-in-cheek, actually not tongue-in-cheek, very in-your-face humorous statements that the main character makes. And the rest of them are pretty ordinary citizens, I would say, pretty ordinary characters. But except the sheriff, he has some really wacky lines of dialogue, and they delivered very well as well. But I would say that the alien abductions, snapping fingers at the end of countdowns, so lots of tropes are used in this series, but in a very funny way, and that's why I like it, even though it's a slow burn. In the middle, sometimes the plot progresses quite slowly. Sometimes the conversations between the human characters, especially family-based conversations, they don't really seem to fit into the overall theme of the sci-fi comedy apocalyptic horror theme. But I guess they are there to widen the audience base a bit, and I basically skip forward through them. That's the advantage of streaming. And in season 3 episode 3, I detect a shout out to Hitmonkey of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is what I mentioned in the beginning of this video, with the eponymous alien dipping a tea bag into a hot spring of white Japanese monkeys. Talking about dipping a tea bag into a pool of warm water, but leave that aside. And the Japanese monkeys, of course, they showered their eternal wrath on Bryce Fowler, who's the character voiced by Jason Sudeikis. But anyway, the show focuses on the tussle among human kidnapping grey aliens and wannabe Earth saver, ex-Earth destroyer, actually humanity destroyer, not Earth destroyer, Harry Vanderspiegel. I have always wanted to say that funny name out loud, and the Spiegel part, the Spiel, is absolutely spot on, because he, talks a lot in covering up his past history or covering up his lies, and covering up his actions. So spiel is obviously what salespeople talk about to attract customers, to sort of it has a negative connotation because it's aimed at tricking people into buying stuff. So anyway, apart from the human elements that make up the show based on the comic books, which is vastly different, I want to act because it allows us to be different people in virtual life without being disturbed people in real life. And that is why I vlog. And earlier when I started, especially during the lockdown, I did some characters, and I will do a couple of characters which I have written down in my notes. But you know, being a one-man studio is not really conducive to such, shall we say, character-driven videos. But then again, now Advita is growing up, so I guess I can get back to where I once belonged. But any actor who says that they are well adjusted in their usual life are lying right out of their sweet patootie, as Sheldon says in The Big Bang Theory, maybe even in Young Sheldon. But I really love acting, and I really love how it allows us to explore characters, explore the different facets of humanity, the myriad ways in which we live our lives, or imagine how we live our lives, and imagine how the world can be. So I guess this was more of a appreciation video for creativity, and I just used Resident Alien as sort of the trampoline to jump off and jump up and down in sharing with you what I think is great imagination. Okay, on that note, I will call this Sunday vlog to an end, weekend vlog to an end. Sunday is tomorrow, new day. Probably shave and you know, like I said, gotta record a few things that I have written down. Shubhanshu Shukla is on the ISS. I watched a movie called Y2K in which Fred Durst played a character. So I'm going to make a 1-minute short for a shout out to Limp Bizkit, who were my favorites, along with Linkin Park, Eminem, and a few other bands when I was growing up in Sanar. Okay then, enough for today, and see you all in my next video. If you haven't seen my other videos, check them out. They are awesome acts, fun. Do share with me what you think in the comments, and let's vibe. Alright, I'm Axat once again. Thanks so much for watching. Namaste, take care, and stay safe.